Basketball Club is the first unrivaled champion.
It sounds like Angel Reese secured a championship win, but with little competition standing in her way. While she celebrated with the trophy, WNBA ratings continued to struggle, raising the question, was anyone actually watching? Some fans hail her as the future of women's basketball, but the league is still working to establish a strong foothold. Despite her dominance on the court, she's missing out where it matters most, visibility and impact. Meanwhile, she privately acknowledged the financial reality of being on a rookie contract, revealing that a $50,000 prize from a flight was worth more than half of her annual earnings. For now, she's keeping that win to herself.
Unrivaled ratings video. The playoffs are finished. The championship game has concluded. The numbers are in. After debuting with 313,000 viewers, Games 1, Games 2, on opening night, after having ratings for the 1v1 tournament, semifinals, and final, averaging 377,000 viewers, the unrivaled championship game ratings comes in at a staggering 260,000 views.
Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky have just won the first ever unrivaled championship, a milestone, no doubt. But let's be real about the significance. While it's an achievement, comparing it to legendary feats feels a bit of a stretch, right up there with getting a participation trophy or showing up to work on time. The way some are reacting, you'd think she just solved a global crisis rather than winning in a league that, at times, feels as competitive as a casual 3-on-3 game. Still, credit where it's due, Reese calls herself the queen of dominance, and for now, she's earned her moment. But maybe a little perspective wouldn't hurt.
The Roses made history and just became 50K richer, you feel me? Because they just won the Unrivaled League first ever championship, man. I ain't gonna hold y'all. If y'all missed this Unrivaled season, yo, you missed one hell of a good one and a competitive one. And shout out to Chelsea Gray, yo, for winning the Finals MVP.
In a world where awards are handed out like freebies, Angel Reese has now claimed the Defensive Player of the Year title. Defensive excellence? More like an art form of dramatic arm flails and intense facial reactions after every routine rebound. But hey, don't question it, the stats say she's a defensive powerhouse, and when have stats ever been misleading? Of course, this recognition has nothing to do with one of the most aggressive PR campaigns trying to sell her as the next Dennis Rodman. Nope, it's all pure skill and heart. Clearly, the universe is making sure everyone gets a trophy, and Angel Reese is living proof.
Today, as we stand, one Angel Reese has been named the Defensive Player of the Year. Stab us all right in the eye hole, right? Oh my goodness. Oh, her fans, they're trying to take victory laps today over this, except a lot of people, a lot of hoops fans, real basketball fans are calling this for what it is. It's a sham. I mean, let's be honest, right?
Let's talk about this so-called unrivaled league. It's unrivaled only because no one else is playing in it. What's the real flex here? Being the top player in a tournament where half the biggest names didn't even bother to show up? That's like walking into an empty gym, making a layup, and calling yourself the MVP. But hey, when you're building a brand, you take whatever wins you can get. So here we are, hyping up a title that feels about as earned as a Hollywood nepotism baby's first movie role. It's a spectacle dressed up as an accomplishment, lacking real competition and, honestly, credibility.
All season long. But I want every person in here, from the players to the coaches, to the fans, to the media, to really take a second to soak in this moment. This is history.
And then there's the Defensive Player of the Year award, a true symbol of grit and determination. Or maybe just a lot of aggressive swipes at the ball and intense death stares, as if her opponents personally owed her money. But don't you dare question the selection. If you so much as suggest there might be more deserving candidates, brace yourself for the backlash. You'll instantly be labeled a hater, or worse, accused of not respecting women's basketball. Apparently, even asking if greatness is earned has become an unforgivable offense.
They lost to Lunar House comfortably. Beat the Laces in a close one. They lost to the Mist. The Mist were trying towards the end. They beat the Phantom. In a lot of close games, they played really well. And they played really, really well after.
Let's take a moment to appreciate the real magic trick here, the ability to turn routine basketball achievements into headline news. The relentless push to craft a legend in real time is truly something to behold. Every block, every rebound, every flex is analyzed, hyped up, and transformed into a career-defining moment. Meanwhile, actual all-time greats just keep their heads down and play, no media circus required. But get ready, because the next round of over-the-top celebrations is inevitable. A parade? A statue? Maybe even renaming Chicago in her honor? At the rate this hype train is moving, it wouldn't be shocking if someone started calling her the greatest athlete * ever star. If simply showing up earns you an award, we might as well go all in. Somebody call the Hall of Fame. It looks like we're all just living in Angel Reese's world now, whether we signed up for the ride or not.
Honestly, man, I don't know how they even decided the Defensive Player of the Year, because I had a few players that I had in mind that could have won this award. But to say that Angel Reese wasn't playing good defense and didn't deserve this award, that would be a lie, man, because throughout the season, she had moments where not only did she lock up the best bigs or play great defense on the best big, she also stole the ball from some of the best.
Angel Reese's wrist seemed to hit its limit, forcing her to sit out just as her team was on the brink of victory without her. You can't make this stuff up. While she took time off to nurse the wrist that had already seen surgery, Rose BC went ahead and snagged the undisclosed championship title, doing so effortlessly. No drama, no theatrics, just straight-up basketball. Let's be real, if Angel had been on the court, it probably would have turned into another episode of * the Angel Reese Show *, where the game itself gets lost behind her exaggerated reactions and questionable shot choices. But without her, the team stepped up. They passed, defended, and clinched the win while their so-called superstar relaxed in street clothes, possibly brainstorming her next round of dramatic social media posts. But don't worry, she'll be back soon, likely with a new injury excuse or a conspiracy theory about the universe targeting her. In the meantime, her team has proven they can thrive without her. Tough break, indeed. Literally.
That's got to be the first thing. And by the way, we're doing victory laps today. Angel Reese fans are celebrating a championship that she didn't even take part in the playoffs for. Are you serious right now? I would argue the team got better and won it because she didn't play. This should be frightening to Chicago Sky fans.
The ratings are in, and the unrivaled league is struggling, about as appealing as a soggy bowl of cereal. Fans are nowhere to be found, and viewership seems to have disappeared. But here's Angel Reese, acting as though she's the star of the show, as if she just won the MVP for social media presence. Instead of focusing on her game, she's turning every match into a personal drama. It's impressive how she manages to put minimal effort on the court while maximizing her off-court presence. Meanwhile, the league is scrambling to draw in viewers, rolling out promotions like free samples at a grocery store, but the response remains underwhelming at best. It's almost a talent to be the loudest voice while everything else falls apart around you. One can only guess the excuses she'll come up with. Maybe it's the referees, the haters, or perhaps, just maybe, people are starting to realize that noise doesn't equal greatness. The stark contrast between her constant chatter and the league's struggling reality underscores a significant disconnect, raising serious questions about where the priorities truly lie.
Here's the caveat, folks. TNT, they come out with their own graphic. And their own graphic boasts of a 364,000 average viewer for the finals. 385,000 peak viewership for the unrivaled finals. We'll touch on those other numbers later. But up 99% from the regular season, 364,000 average. Folks, if we look at the unrivaled playoffs, Laces versus Rose, that was broken down to both TNT ratings and True TV ratings. Yet for the championship game, somewhere in transition, somewhere along the pecking order, I guess the True TV ratings got.
What a time to be alive. The unrivaled league has wrapped up, and surprise, surprise, no one watched. Who could have predicted that slapping a fancy name on something and calling it a game changer wouldn't automatically spark interest? Ratings have dropped, enthusiasm has disappeared, and somewhere in a boardroom, executives are left scratching their heads, baffled at how their so-called groundbreaking product flopped harder than a bad reality show. But don't worry, while the league struggles to even keep a small audience engaged, Angel Reese is still making waves, acting like she just clinched a championship through sheer talk. This is the same Angel Reese who wasn't even close to the MVP podium but somehow shows up every time it's time to stir the pot. Instead of taking a moment to reflect, strategize, or even take a break, she logged on to remind everyone that she's the main storyline. It's a strange sight, one player's voice drowning out the silence of an entire league's downfall. And the actual sport? It's faltering quietly in the background.
Over. Or it's close to it. If it's not over, it's close to it. I'm at that point where I think we are at a point of no return. I think we have hit a level where there are problems and they are starting to punch you right in the face. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the unrivaled television ratings from Friday night, their best night, and they are bad. They just keep getting worse.
The funniest part? It's not like Angel Reese was dominating on the court to deserve all this extra attention. There are no record-breaking performances or unforgettable moments, just a lot of vibes. Her presence is mostly marked by the occasional tweet that gets ESPN analysts all fired up, as they'd rather talk about the drama than acknowledge that the league is essentially playing to empty arenas. In a way, it's impressive. The league needed someone to sell the product, engage fans, and spark some interest. Yet, instead of elevating the game itself, we got a masterclass in staying relevant for everything but basketball. Is this performance art? A social experiment? Or maybe it's a new age marketing strategy where the goal isn't actual success, but just the appearance of winning, loudly and unapologetically.
They wonder why no one is supporting their secondary dump. They wonder why no one is watching pretend basketball. Maybe if they focused on the actual basketball instead of focusing on their weird utopian fantasies, maybe their dump would be upgraded to a polished.
Meanwhile, the ratings tell the real story. When it was time for viewers to tune in, they didn't. When the moment came to captivate the audience, they tuned out instead. Yet, rather than analyzing why certain players, especially one in particular, are busy flexing online as if their presence outshines the game itself, it seems like they've missed the point. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. When the numbers drop, when people lose interest, and when the league starts panicking over its future, no amount of Twitter posts will change the fact that hype has its limits. So here we are, ratings in the gutter, the league struggling, and instead of leadership or accountability, all we get is self-promotion, cryptic social media posts, and constant reminders from someone who believes they're the main character in a story no one's tuning in to watch. Maybe it's time for the league to rethink its approach. Let's focus on basketball, not forced drama. Real, authentic skill might just be what draws fans in. And perhaps, just perhaps, if everyone put more energy into winning instead of chasing attention, they wouldn't have to beg for ratings.
Most people who know Caitlin Clark, we're just being honest, probably are not WNBA fans, but they know of her because of her greatness and the way that she just burst onto the scene and made such a powerful impact. And this goes for all over the world. I mean, her name truly has transcended the WNBA. And why I hate to keep bringing up the Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark drama, because it would be nice to just put that to bed, it must be noted that Angel Reese is playing for Unrivaled. Caitlin Clark is not. The numbers are not great.
Here we go again. The internet is in chaos because someone won an award, and now people are drawing comparisons between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, as if a single trophy could level the playing field between the years of skill, talent, and hard work each has put into their basketball careers. Let's entertain this for a moment. The logic seems to be that since Angel received an accolade, she must be on the same level as Caitlin. But that's a confusing leap in reasoning. Sure, we could overlook the facts, stats, shooting percentages, basketball IQ, the actual impact on the game, and pretend that one award is somehow equivalent to years of dominance. It's like claiming that winning karaoke champion makes you the next Beyoncé. Just because something happens doesn't make it meaningful. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is out here rewriting the record books, dropping more points in a single game than some teams score in a whole contest, hitting shots from half court like she's got a cheat code, and making the WNBA must-watch TV. Angel, on the other hand, may be collecting rebounds and throwing side eyes, but let's be real, effort doesn't automatically equal skill. Spoiler alert, hustle is great, but last I checked, scoring points wins games, not just passionate expressions and questionable shot choices. Every time Angel wins an award, her fans act like she's dethroned Caitlin Clark, but let's be honest, why does the basketball world stop when Caitlin is playing, while Angel's biggest headlines come from her social media activity rather than her on-court performance? Caitlyn is making history regularly, while Angel is trending on Twitter. One is actually changing the game, while the other seems more focused on her social media presence. It's essential to recognize the gap between raw talent that impacts the sport and trophies that don't fully reflect skill or contribution.
Indiana Fever will be opening up against the Chicago Sky. And for those that don't think that the Caitlin Clark and the Angel Reese, remember what the commissioner of the league said. There needs to be some type of back and forth. Why do you think they have Chicago first? One of the worst teams in the league. You have Chicago playing Indiana first. I wonder why. But last year when Caitlin Clark came